Good morning, everyone. How are you this morning? Steffi Scott here, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Bridgeton, Ontario. And it is Monday. Make a Card Monday. And this week I'm going to be playing with the paper pumpkin. Alright, I'm just bringing this up on my iPad here and make sure everything looks good, which I think it does. There we go. So hopefully everyone survived the storm over the weekend. We didn't do too bad. We got a fair amount of snow, but not as bad as some other places. And all the ice down the States, thankfully, we did not get any of that. So I am using the Special Delivery Paper Pumpkin. So I have to be honest, I was not 100% thrilled about the cards. But that being said, there are so many little bits and pieces on all of these that you can make beautiful cards with all the bits that come with it. So Paper Pumpkin is a subscription-based card kit that gets mailed to you every month. Now, they say it's a subscription, but you can subscribe for 1 month. So I mean, you can subscribe for a full year, 6 months, 3 months, or just once and try it out. So that is nice. If you do subscribe for more than 1 month, you can pause it if you see the sneak peek of a month coming up and you're not a big fan, then you can pause it and skip a month and wait for the next month. So it is a really nice subscription-based product. So I don't know if you noticed, but I mentioned last week that I am becoming a part of Rachel Tessman's Paper Pumpkin Creatives group. So what that means is that every month I will create a tutorial for an alternative project, probably a scrapbook page, that will be included in her big tutorial package. So anyone that subscribes for Paper Pumpkin through me will get one of those tutorial packets. So there's 14 people in her group, which means that you will get 14 alternative projects for that month's Paper Pumpkin, which is amazing. And you will get that for free. If you don't subscribe through me, if you already have a demonstrator and you subscribe through them, then that's okay too. You can just purchase the tutorial pack from me. You'll still get all 14 tutorials, and it is $15 US. So it is in US, and then whatever the conversion is for that day is what it will cost. So let me know if you're interested in that, because that's going to be super fun. So you do get instructions with your Paper Pumpkin kit, nice color ones. It tells you exactly where to stamp everything, where to put your adhesive. All your adhesive comes with this kit as well. You will also get a stamp set. And then they just have this little paper artwork here just to make it a little bit easier for you to see what is in your stamp set. After I'm done, if it's a stamp set that I would like to keep, then I usually just tuck it in the bag. I'll just trim this paper down so that it fits inside this bag that the adhesive comes in my pack or in my kit. Just have to grab a little drink. So as I mentioned, there's tons of little bits and pieces in here. There's some label shapes for your sentiments, greetings. I love the little like postage stamp shape. We got a big rose. I love this blue flower. It's gorgeous. I used that on my sneak peek tutorial, just to give you a little hint. And then we have some other little flowers there. And then we have all these little die cut postage stamp type images. They're absolutely beautiful. I've seen a lot of really nice alternative cards made with those. We have one big large one, And then you get your card bases. So this month it is 9 cards, which is the norm. You normally make 9 cards. Sometimes it's different, but that is normally what we make. And for this one, there are 3 smaller white card bases, 3 plain bubble bath card bases, and then there was 3 of this check pattern, which is what we're going to be using today. Then you also get envelopes with your paper pumpkin, and these ones I thought were so pretty. I love the pink and the blue, and I thought they would kind of make some great baby cards actually. So I might have to do that later on after I get some of my other work done. I might have to make a baby card using those. I've seen a lot of people cut out the front of this envelope and then use this for their focal point on their card. And it looks beautiful. Okay, so that's everything that comes in the kit. Oh, and you get your ink spot as well. And I was happy to get Poppy Parade because that's actually a color that I don't have in my collection. So I'm starting out with kind of a simpler card for our first one. I'm going to make 2 cards today. So I am using that pink background or card base. Some people, to extend the life of their kit, they will cut these in half and then just glue that on top of a white card base. I'm going to go ahead and use the whole thing today. And then I'm going to use that big floral postage stamp piece. And I am going to pop that up, I think. Just have to find some. Yes, here we go. Some dimensionals. These little mini ones are what normally come in the kit. You usually get, where are my tweezers? Mini dimensionals. Oh, I was working over on my other counter and I left them over there. So did anyone actually get out and do anything this weekend? I didn't. I stayed home most of the weekend. I'm sure lots of you with little kids got out and played in the snow. We talked about it, but then we decided it was too cold. We were going to go get the dog and take the dog tobogganing. Because he would love that. He's funny that way. But we decided it was too cold out. Alright, so now I'm taking this smaller postage stamp one. And I have decided, so that's what I was going to mention. These are kind of Valentine themed. Sending love. You brighten my day. That wouldn't be just Valentine's. Just for you. Happy Valentine's Day. And then that little airmail stamp. But it is kind of Valentine theme. Well, if you've watched me, you know I've been making a ton of Valentine cards. And I just don't need any more. So I have pulled in our product of the month. Fabulous Sayings. And I'm going to just use hello. Our product of the month. Anytime you spend, no, not anytime, one time during the month, when you spend $100, then you can purchase the product of the month for $5. So I just grabbed the hello stamp, and I'm going to stamp in Garden Green. So this is a new stamp, and it's also a new ink pad. So I'm just going to stamp it here and just make sure that everything is stamping as it should. I'm going to give that a wash. Sometimes there are some, I don't know, residue, I guess you'd call it, left on the stamp just from processing. So it's good to wash your stamps off before you use them. Let's give this another try. That looks quite a bit better. It's a crisper stamp than before we cleaned it. And I'm going to go right in the middle here. I'm just going to pull this down so I can see it a little bit better. we're going to press that down for a few seconds to let that color really seep into our paper. One other thing that you get with Paper Pumpkin subscription is you get access to some add-on dies. And I had mine here to show. Here they are. So every quarter they come out with a new die set. This one's called Beautiful Blooms. And it coordinates with the 3 months of Paper Pumpkin kits. So this one, we got the little postage stamp label and the word beautiful and then some flowers. Normally, this is pretty much what you get. You get a label shape, a word, and then some sort of image as well. I didn't use that today, but I did want to mention that. So that's going to go here in the middle. And then I've taken a couple flowers from the kit and I've just kind of crinkled them up just to add a little texture to them. This one I think I'm going to tuck right behind, so I'm going to use glue dot to adhere that. So that's going to go about there. And this I'm going to pop up as well. So I do have dimensionals pretty much right in the middle there. They're kind of off to each side, I guess. So I'm going to put these dimensionals right in the middle. I try not to get two right on top of each other. If you happen to be mailing your card, adds a lot of dimension. So that's going to go right in the middle. Whoop, that looks crooked. So I did mention that these weren't my favorite cards, but I just found them to be a little bit busy. Like lots of things going on, which I do like a lot of things going on, but I feel like you need a little bit of white space on your card to let your eyes rest. So I did like putting this one, I got this idea off of the Facebook group, the Paper Pumpkin Fan Club, I believe it's called, of putting that label shape right in the middle. And I really like that. So this one's just gonna go over top here. I'm going to add a dimensional behind here. If you're not in that Paper Pumpkin Fan Club, you should be. Look it up. There's amazing, beautiful projects in there if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. And then I've just grabbed a piece of Garden Green twine. This is an old twine, long ago retired. I don't remember when I got it. And I'm just going to kind of tuck that underneath there. So there we go. A nice, quick and easy card that can be used for any occasion. Doesn't have to be Valentine's themed cards. So the next card that I'm doing is going to be for the Global Design Project Challenge. This is a challenge. I always look it up on Instagram. I'm not sure if they're on Facebook as well, but once a week they come up with a different challenge, and this week's. It is Case the Designer, and the designer is Marga Boltina, and I apologize because I'm sure I said that wrong. But I thought, this looks very familiar, doesn't it? But I'm not sure if it's this one. Maybe she's created a note size card, because this is quite a bit smaller than what I envision this being. This looks like it takes up the whole card front, but I used it for this card. So you can take inspiration from this. You could take just the colors. Maybe you just want to make a blue card. I kind of did a similar card layout. Also, when you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you have access to past Paper Pumpkin refills. So if there was an old one that you see that you like, you can go back and get the refill. So I'm using that same pink. We're going to do a portrait card this time. And I have pulled in a piece of vellum to use as my layer because I didn't want to cover up all this pretty pink. I really like it. And I'm just going to put that down with some seal adhesive, and I'm just putting my adhesive in the middle because I know that it won't show there. I'm gonna go right about there, try to get that nice and straight. The stripes make it easier to get straight. And then I have cut a piece of that lighter grid from my envelope. I'm going to show you here how I did that. So I took one of my pink envelopes and I trimmed just a tiny little bit off the sides, and then it unfolds, and then all of the back was that beautiful DSP as well, that pattern paper. So then I just cut my shape right out of the envelope paper. And that's going to go on there. I'm going to lay that down flat as well. This card is going to have lots of dimension. So I want to start off with some flat adhesive. My focal point is going to be the rose. I felt that it was a little bit large for the front of my card, so I've just cut it down. I just used that thicker red line and cut it down to be smaller. And then we've got our label, or our like sentiment piece, and that is mimicking this circle here. I could have cut out a bigger circle, but I thought I've got these little circles. I'm going to use this. And before I bring in all my little bits, I'm going to stamp on here. So I need some birthday cards. So I just looked for a happy birthday that was fairly small, just in my retired stamp sets. And I came across the seasonal branches and this happy birthday wishes. Well, as you can see, it is still too big, but I'm gonna try to stamp just happy and then just birthday over top of each other. And what color did I want to stamp that in? I think I will stamp it in the green. I think so. I don't think I want to do it in red. No, I'm not sure. I didn't plan this part out. I am pulling in a little bit of crumb cake. I think I might try it in crumb cake. Because this is a photopolymer stamp, it's a little bit easier to see where you're getting that ink. So you can see that you're just getting the one word. I'm just going to rub off wishes just in case I got a little bit of ink on there. I don't think I did, but just in case. And I'm going to stamp here, happy. Perfect. So I'm going to clean off my stamp. And then you do want to make sure that it's nice and dry. So then we're just going to ink up birthday. And that's going to go there. Awesome. So I've got my my leaves here. So that's gonna go there. I'm gonna put a glue dot and adhere that piece down. This is going to end up being kind of tucked in here. Now this does hang off quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it back here where you're not going to see it. And I'm just going to reposition that little branch or that little blossom. I don't mind if things hang off my card a little bit, but that was just too much because I won't be able to get it in an envelope. So then I've just pulled in a few of these little leaf sprigs. These are die cut from, now I forget. It's a Christmas die set. The one with the snowflake. Delicate Pines. And I use this sprig a lot. I really like it. And I've just cut these out in white, and then I've used an embossing, or a blending brush to add some green to them, and then just splattered them. And I cut one out. I had one in vellum. These I just found sitting on my desk, so I thought I might as well use them because they match nicely. So I'm just going to use some glue dots here to stick these down. So just remember, all of that center part is going to be covered up by our flower. And I've got one more here. That's going to kind of go up here. Like that. That's going to tuck in there somewhere. Kind of like that. And then when I pulled out this seasonal branches, this was a really great set too. I didn't use it a whole lot, but I really like this twig image. I also like these flowers, but I didn't use them today. But I did die cut a few of those little branches in crumb cake. That's just going to tuck under there. And then I've got a couple, I cut one in half. So I had a couple smaller pieces. These ones are a little bit harder because they're so small. Hard to use the glue dots, but we're gonna make it work. That's just gonna tuck under there. So just a little bit of that is showing. And then I did pull in some of our puffy stickers. I really like these. Softest Spring Mix and Match Puffy Stickers. And there was a few with some blue on there, and I thought, we could pull in a little blue. It'll look nice. And I've got one with some pink flowers and a little bird on there. So we're just going to tuck him in there. So he's just peeking out. Oh, I did have this one out too. This leaf image. Stick that under there. I forgot I had that one on there. There we go. And then I've grabbed some crumb cake twine, and that's going to go kind of underneath our flower. Oh. There, that's going to just tuck under there. Like that. So I think we're ready to add our flower on. And because we have all of that, don't cover up our little bird head, little birdie's head, all of that dimension under there. We're going to put some dimensionals here. Kind of on this side, because that's where I have the least amount of stuff underneath it. And one more, that should be good. I'm going to put our greeting on there. That I'm going to put on flat. Just tucked, just peeking out enough so that that happy birthday shows. There we go. Just wanted it to be nice and straight. And then I also grabbed one of the butterflies from the puffy stickers. And he's just going to go up here at the top. There we go. So I think that's fairly similar to Marga's card. So that's all I have for today. Oh, here's our other card. We'll pull it in as well. And I will be back on Wednesday. I think I'm going to have a scrapbook layout. I have to kind of, I have to finish my layout for my tutorial, and then I will see what I have left. I'm sure I'll have lots left to do a layout for Wednesday as well. So if you want to see that tutorial layout, you have to purchase a tutorial or subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, and then you can get it for free, and you'll get all 14, not just mine. You get everyone's tutorial included for free, or you can buy it for $15 American. So if you're interested in that, just let me know, shoot me a message, and I will help you out. Thanks so much for joining me, and if you'd like to share this video, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.